everyone, and welcome to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we are in Biloxi, Mississippi. It's a beautiful day. Today we get to meet Mr. Bobby Mahoney right here at Mayor Mahoney's old French house. Good morning, everyone, and I would like to welcome everyone to another episode of Coastal Connections with Courtney. Today we get to talk to Mr. Bobby Mahoney. We are in Biloxi, Mississippi at Mayor Mahoney. So, Mr. Bobby, I would love to hear about it. Everyone on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, whether you're traveling, anything about the coast, you've got to come to Mayor Mahoney's.
Yeah, we're kind of the common denominator. If you're in Washington, D.C. or something like that, and you say if you're in Black, oh, you've been to Mayor Mahoney? Yeah, I've been there. But anyway, of course, well, I guess we'd be talking about Mayor Mahoney, right?
Absolutely, the history.
Well, anyway, that was my mother. She was born in Biloxi in 1924. She was reared on Point Cadet, and her parents were from Croatia. And mother could speak Croatian fluently. And probably about when mother was 14 years old, she found the smartest guy in Biloxi, Mississippi, and that was a parish priest. He was a graduate of Oxford University in England, and his name was Father Mullen. And he kind of used Father Mullen as her mentor all through her life. And you know, as she grew up, I tell everybody, mother had a doctorate in social endeavors. Well, how do you receive a doctorate in social endeavor? You got to be well-read.
Sure.
How would one get well-read in Biloxi, Mississippi in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s? Well, Father Mullen told her to go to the newsstand on Tuesday, get the Sunday New York Times. She didn't read the newspaper, she just read the magazine section.
I get it.
Because the magazine section's nothing more than food, music, art, and fashion. So if you're going to be a socialite, you need to know food, music, art, and fashion.
She was a fashionista.
Oh yeah, she loved.
She
loved fashion. You know, mother would go to New York. When she'd go to New York, she'd go to all the second shops and get all the originals. She couldn't afford the originals, but she could afford the seconds. You know, and of course, like I say, mother was born in Biloxi. Her father was a fisherman, and he had a factory on Back Bay, and my mother grew up working around the factory, and he had a grocery store. And I tell everybody, my mother used to, when the fishermen would go out on the boats, they'd need food. Well, we didn't have no Walmarts or grocery stores around here, so all you had was little grocery stores. So they used my grandfather's grocery store, and my mother would get all that stuff, get in the wheelbarrow and go down the hill and then go up on the wharf, and the boats would be parked triple. You know,
and this is in the 40s?
This was probably in the 50s.
Wow,
you know,
that's way back.
And so, you know, and so my dad was from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and my mother met him at Keesler Air Force Base. And so how mother got into the restaurant and lounge business. Well, about 1950, my dad was a night auditor at the Tivoli Hotel. And at the hotel, the owner, he kicked the guy out of the lounge, you know, and he asked my dad if my mother would be interested in running the lounge. So my dad asked my mom if she'd be interested. Mom said, well, I don't know how to mix drinks. Somebody said, Mary, just bat them pretty eyes at him and ask them what goes in it. They'd be more than happy to tell you. So anyway, mother got in that lounge, and what she did, she spun LPs. Male vocalists, female vocalists, Broadway shows, operas, instrumentals. So if you had any class about yourself, you love to listen to good music and you love to have a cocktail, you know, you got to gravitate to Mother's Little Lounge. You know, like when the General would leave Keesler Field, the Chamber of Commerce would have it going away party at Mother's Little Lounge. So what Mother did in that lounge, like I say, she spun LPs. One day, And if you took beer for barter and you was an artist or a musician, well,
She
come on in.
sounds precious.
come on in, and so what Mother did was they had a piano player playing the piano. You know, she give him beer and he played the piano all night. Mother was kind of depressed, and the pianist said, "Mary darling, what's the matter?" I said, "Everybody comes in here has so much talent and I can't do anything." And he said, "Mary darling, what are you talking about?" "Well, I want to be a fashion designer and I can't draw. I can't sing. I can't play any kind of musical instrument." She says, "I just have no talent at all." That pianist said, "Mary darling," he says, "you know how many people go up and down this bar and talk to people like you talk to people?" Said, "Hun, that's talent." He woke Mother up that she did have a talent. It was her personality. So about that time, Mother was in the lounge for about 11 years, and the ownership of the hotel changed hands in 1961, and the old owner wanted her out. I mean, the new owner wanted her out. And she said, "Well, I got an all agreement with the old owner. They give me $2 million."
Right. Why did they want her out?
Well, because he wanted to make all the money that,
Oh, okay,
she was
yeah.
at. And plus the fact that whiskey was illegal in Mississippi at the
Gotcha.
time. So you couldn't have a lease agreement with selling alcohol in a state where it was a dry state.
It was way back,
you know,
yeah.
so anyway, he said, "No, I want you out." So Mother went to see Bidwell Adams, who was a lieutenant governor under Theodore Bilbo. And Mr. Bidwell, he was a prominent attorney in Gulfport, and he said, "Mary, when you lock them doors at night, lock them from the inside, not the outside." So Mother, one of her bartenders that worked for her would sleep in the building. So that really made the guy mad. So he turned off all the lights. He turned off the water. You know, we had customers that stayed. You know, all them hotel rooms had window units, so they dropped the extension cord down so they could at least plug up the record player so they could listen to music. Even though it was in the summertime, it was probably a little warm in there, too. So finally, you know, somebody grabbed a picture and turned it around and with lipstick wrote, "You're now entering West Berlin," and hung it on the outside of the door. I mean, you're going from the bad side of the hotel to the good side.
I mean, you really are.
You came in. So anyway, Mother got perturbed and went to see Curtis Tito, who was a sheriff in Harrison County at the time.
I mean, she was brave and bold.
And so Curtis said, "Mary, I'll fix this guy." His name was Clarence Day from Columbus, Mississippi. He called up Clarence and says, "Look, you let Mary stay there till after Labor Day, or else I won't give you a liquor license." You know, so he relented, and Mother left out there. I tell everybody, Mother left out of there cussing him out till she got here. When she got here, she went to praying for him because of guards. I tell
so she had a feisty little side.
I tell everybody, you know, a lot of times when you think it's the worst thing in the world ever happened to you, it might have been the best thing in the world ever happened to you. And in Mother's case, it was. And you know, in some of the things that happened in that little lounge. 1960, a guy from West Palm Beach, Florida walked in and said, "What's all this Kennedy paraphernalia doing in there?" Mother said, "Well, I'm working real hard for him to be the president." He says, "You know, I know Jack Kennedy. I'll go back and tell him." Went back and told Jack Kennedy that he went in this lounge and they had Kennedy paraphernalia all over. So about 2 or 3 weeks later, Mother gets a telegram. It says, "I understand you've been working for me for president for the last 6 months. Keep up the good work. If I'm ever elected, you'll never regret it. Jack Kennedy." And I got the telegram right over here, or in this room right here. So Mother was real proud of that. In fact, I got a picture with John Conley. You know, I think Boyce Holloman had him in here. They had a business deal. They came in for dinner one night, and I got a picture with John Conley. So anyway, Mother got in a restaurant here, and we opened up May the 7th, 1964. We opened up on Ascension Thursday, and a guy wrote in Mother's book, "The only way this place can go is up." so we've been going up. And come May the 7th, we've been in business 59 years. You know,
59 years. And have y'all been located in the same spot, same house?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's all been the same spot. And then in 73, we added, you know, Mother wanted to, after Camille, Mother wanted to build a house right next to the restaurants. Well, the city father said, "Mary, you can't have a house right next to the restaurant, but you can build a business and have an apartment up there." So Mama said, "Well, that's what I'll do." And so we had our little cafe there, gift shop. It was $7.24, and everybody in the town really loved it. They say, you know, it's coming up on 18 years of, you know, post Katrina, you know, and they still have people telling, you know, I had a really good place. You know why? At 4 o'clock in the morning, everybody had too much to drink was in there.
Oh, sure.
And at 9 o'clock in the morning, all the church people were in there. So anytime you got a place that the church people and the drunks like, you know.
Yeah, it's true though.
Yeah, you got a real good situation. So anyway, you know, so Mother opened up the restaurant, and you know, she loved it. And then
Right after Camille.
no, before Camille. We opened up
before
in '64. Camille happened in '69, and we had in the Camille we had a little damage. We had about a knee deep of water in the bar. It never got to the floors here in the main house.
But it stayed strong and remained here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's
we opened
pretty
up
incredible right there.
2 weeks after Camille, we opened the restaurant.
That's a
As
huge
opposed
deal.
to Katrina, it was like 55 days it took us to get open after Katrina, you know. So anyway, so mother got in this restaurant, and you know, she donned an evening dress every night, and she went table to table.
I love her.
I tell her, you know, she had feathered boas and then butterfly.
Yeah, and
glasses.
when you walk in, you see those cool glasses.
Yeah, they, you know, Mother saw them in the airport in New York, and the lady said, where'd you get them glasses? I need to get a pair.
Yeah, I love them.
So the lady said, well, they're English glasses, and the brand name of them's Winston's. So anyway, so Mother got back in and got to see Dr. Buckley right there, and he got a pearl pair, a white pair, and a black pair to go with every outfit. You know what I mean? So anyway, a lady from Tucktool was in here, and she says, my mother said, yeah, these butterfly glasses, and they Winston, but they're English glasses. And you know what? And the lady from England said,
Yeah.
You know why they call these glasses Winston's? And the lady from England said, Mary, you don't know. Said, know what? They were butterfly glasses.
Yeah, they're in the frame. I love them.
Said, so Winston adored butterflies. So his admiration of butterflies, that they named them butterfly glasses.
Yeah.
After Winston Churchill. And so
After Winston Churchill.
yeah, so
Incredible.
anyway, so you know, we got the restaurant, and of course some of the things that Mother accomplished in her
Well,
short
Miss
life.
Bobby, I want to stop just for a
okay.
minute because I want to hear all about this.
Yeah.
We do have to take a quick
Okay,
break.
all right.
But your mom, we
Okay.
could talk forever and ever.
All
it
right,
could be a
okay,
movie.
okay.
But we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulfport.
Thank you for calling J. Allen Toyota Service.
This is what happens when you set an appointment at J. Allen Toyota Service. We will order the part right then, so it'll be here when your appointment comes. Our greeter staff will greet you quickly and friendly and top off your fluids before your car even leaves the drive. Then your car will go to one of our 6 two-man express teams or one of our 10 certified technicians so they can get you back on the road safely and quickly. This is service the way it should be at J. Allen Toyota Service.
Right now at Butch Ostelet Ford in Gulfport, get a new 2022 Ford Edge with a $3,000 rebate plus 0% for 36 months. Butch Ostelet Ford will beat your best deal regardless. Now at Butch Ostolet Ford in Gulfport, get a new 2022 F-150 with a $1,000 rebate plus 0% financing for 36 months. Butch Ostolet Ford will beat your best deal regardless.
Are a beacon of healing, resolute and consistent, determined. We are problem solvers, driven to overcoming obstacles, unshakable. We are prepared, capable, experienced, unbeatable. We are a network of people providing care throughout your lifetime. We are believers in the healing power of compassion. We are Memorial.
Okay, we're back from the break. I want to hear what all she's accomplished.
Well, you know, in 1979, I think it was still Trent Lott, or it might have been Comer, I don't know who it was, but invited Mother to go to the lawn of the White House on the occasion of John Paul II, the Pope. And so Jimmy Carter was in here about 4 or 5 years ago, and I showed him that invitation that Mother got, and he said that's about the only bipartisan thing I ever did.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And in '79, she went to the lawn of the White House for the Pope. 1982, she was Small Business Person of the Year in the state of Mississippi. And her little inscription was, she said, I'd hope to be an inspiration to a lot of young people who do not have the knowledge but do have the desire. Sometimes desire can be more important than anything else.
I'm gonna cry, that's beautiful.
In 1984, she fed Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. on the lawn of the White House. 1979 to 1985, we fed the Mississippi congressional and senatorial staff in Washington. You know, we was fixing the gumbo down here, and for some strange reason, the gumbo spoiled, and Mother was all nervous. We was going to Washington the next day, and the gumbo spoiled, and so so Gladys Daniels said, Mary, ain't no problem. When we get to Washington, we just make it up there. You know, so that's what they did.
Yeah,
they made.
I mean, what else do you do?
They made the gumbo.
Gotta roll with it.
So we did that for about 7 years, you know, and then she got a scholarship named after her at Purdue University for everything she emphasized about the hospitality industry. And probably her crowning achievement, she was the first woman president of the Biloxi Chamber of Commerce.
The first woman?
First woman president of the Biloxi Chamber of Commerce. And they said she did all that by being a woman in a man's world.
Yeah, I mean, she really did.
Yeah, she really did. And like I say, you know, talking about the restaurant a little bit, these two paintings right here behind you, Mother saw them in New Orleans, and she came home and she saw the artist that painted them. Her name was Early DeVries, and she was from Pass Christian. And Mama called up early and said, I gotta have me 2 of those paintings I saw in the Ralston Esther. And, and Miss Early said, Mary, you want me to use you and your husband's head? Mama said, why not? So my mother's Josephine and my daddy's Napoleon. And then when we would open up the little lounge next to the cafe, it was the Cabaret Lounge, so how fitting to have Napoleon and Josephine in the Cabaret.
Exactly, perfect. She was a good thinking out of the box.
Cabaret Lounge.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
And then, you know, and get back to Father Mullen. Father Mullen came back here in 1984, and Bob McHugh with the Sun Herald interviewed him, and one of the parts of the interview, Father Mullen said, I used to help Mary with her homework. He says sometimes it was a bit of an ordeal. And Father Mullen said Mary was probably the only person I know who could use a triple negative and still make sense. He says, so if you have children like her, not to despair, they can grow up and be as successful as Mary Mahoney, you know. That was a cute little story.
Yes, well, what about, she just sounds, I can't even tell you how much I would have loved to know her, but everybody talks about her, and there's so much also about the history of the house. Yeah, it's made it through the hurricanes. Tell me about it.
Well, you know, the house was, City of Biloxi's got it documented as the oldest house in Biloxi, not me, the City of Biloxi.
Yeah.
1835. Now, you know, the 2 rooms off the bar, they might predate the house. I think they had a home here and they tore it down because you know everything around here. If you had a high and dry piece of land, that's where you built. Because a lot of land around here was wetlands, you know, and so they filled it all in and did everything they could do. And so, you know, so my mother bought it in '61. It took 2 years to, you know, we had to add on the restrooms and the kitchen, and then in 1973. Urban Renewal came in and took our street corner away from us. I said, Mama, they're getting ready to take your street corner away. You need to start screaming. You know?
she knows what to do.
And Mama said, well, I'll just build another dining room over here. So what we did where our parking lot was, they took a street corner and she just built another dining room, seats about 100 people. And then well, we acquired this big parking lot out here. You know, and from the city, probably I think when Jerry O'Keefe was a mayor, I think we paid $100,000 for it back then, which was a lot of money. But
and that was an investment. Is it doing? I mean, has it been worthwhile?
Well, sure. Well, you got to have parking. You know what I mean?
You do.
Especially if
it convenient.
Especially if you got a big restaurant, like you say, our restaurant. How many people do you think we can seat in our restaurant?
I have no idea.
But that's not the proper question. You know what the proper question is?
What?
How many people your kitchen can accommodate? You know, seating them ain't a problem.
Yeah.
Getting the food to them's a problem,
Yeah.
you know. But we can seat about 400 people, but we have a big kitchen because right then we bought the Daily Herald building, and we kind of, the Daily Herald building, Biloxi Daily Herald building was right next to the restaurant. So when they merged and moved to DeBees Road, you know what I mean? We bought that restaurant from, I think, Rolling Week, sold it to Mother. And so we moved our kitchen in there, and then we got the big dining room in the back, you know, that seats about 100 people, or the Glenn Cothran room, I call it. And of course, Glenn Cothran was something else. He was a Budweiser distributor here in Biloxi, and he was a very good friend of Mother's. And you know, so you know, in fact, when Mother had the lounge down at the thing, he'd come in there and set up the bar. He didn't care what you was drinking.
The lounge sounds so cool.
Yeah, you know, and so when Mother opened up the restaurant for about 30 years, we didn't sell nothing but Budweiser products.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? So
because that's what they
so Mother was just paying her loyalty back to Mr. Glenn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, and so where are we at now?
Well, I want to also touch on every time you come here, you know, there's so many prominent people. I mean, people from Washington, a lot of big names, and you'll see them on the wall.
Well, yeah. Well, like
you get to meet quite a bit of people. Don't you, Mr. Bobby?
we got we got celebrities pictures.
I mean, you do. I didn't want to be starstruck, but that is pretty cool.
You know, some of my favorites are Barbara Eden,
yes,
and Dick Clark and Denzel Washington.
And they know y'all. It's
it's not so much they know us. I mean, they've been here.
Right.
And so I kind of woo them, you know what I mean? I get them. I tell them all kind of jokes. And
where do you come up with all these jokes,
well, I've been here 58 years, you know what I mean? So people tell me jokes, and the good ones I keep, and the bad ones I let go. You know, the good ones are 30 seconds where it catch you off guard. You know, like Boudreaux was speeding down the highway, cop pull him over. Let me see your driver's license. Show him driver's license in your center console. My water. Cop said, that looks like wine. He said, Jesus done did it again. You know? So
you hear them from different people. You pick them up throughout your journey.
Yeah, the good ones I keep, and you know, and I repeat. And you know, and like I say, you know, I do a little advertising with the cable company, and so people love the jokes. You know, a good joke is just,
you're known for it.
A good joke's just like a good song. You know what I mean?
Right.
How many times? Oh, I love that song, and then when you hear a good joke, you say, oh, I love that joke.
Exactly.
You know, I tell one about the 70-year-old widow. Had shocking news tell her 3 girlfriends. She get married. One of her friends wanted to know if he was good looking. She said no. Another friend wanted to know if he had a lot of money. She said no. Well, the 3rd girlfriend said, if he ain't got any money, he ain't good looking. Why in the world are you marrying him?
Then what's the point?
She said he can drive at night.
Oh my God.
That drive at night gets to be big when you get up. And then,
no, it really does.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all of those little things, and we all experience
and then
it throughout our life.
Another cute one, Boudreaux done died, found 20,000 in Clotilde found 20,000 in his coat pocket. Called up his sister. I found 20,000 of Boudreaux's money. And what you gonna spend it? What you gonna spend it? I don't know. Call me back and I'll tell you. Well, $4,000 went to the funeral, and that other 16,000 I bought a real nice memorial stone. She said, that was kind of sweet of you to buy that memorial stone, wasn't it? It was kind of expensive, huh?
Yeah.
She said, oh no, it's a hell of a diamond. That's a nice memorial
And
stone.
another thing, like the menu, is it in the same sense? Because you said the gumbo. You're known for gumbo. Your mama.
You know, like I say, you know, when you walk in a restaurant and you see chicken on the menu 20 different ways, you know you're in trouble.
Right. So you do change it up
Well,
a little
no,
bit throughout
yeah,
the
like
years?
I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, and
it's
we
not
just
broken.
fool with a lot of seafood. You know, out of the Gulf. You know, our signature dish is probably Queen Ixtalib, triple tail stuffed with shrimp and crab au gratin. We do fresh speckled trout on top of it, lump crab meat. We do shrimp and lump crab meat, melbangs. You'll have pasta, broiled shrimp, melt a little cheese over it. Flounder imperial. I tell everybody, anytime the adjective is better than the noun, you know it's a hell of a dish.
Yeah.
We take all the bones out the flounder and stuff with pure crab meat, no bread. So it's all protein. So they really like that. Of course, in the crab claws and the charbroiled oysters, in the seafood gumbo, all the seafood gumbo. I guess in December we must have made about 2,000 gallons of gumbo.
Yeah,
you know
I mean,
what I mean? And we FedExed about, I would say about 500, 600 gallons all over the United States.
That's what I was
you know,
just
if you give somebody a gallon of my gumbo for Christmas, guess what? They're looking for it next year too.
Oh, I'm sure.
If you gave them $100 bill, they could care less about the $100 bill. But I want the food back. In fact, I sent John Grisham gumbo, crab claws, and shrimp.
You sent John
Grisham? You never know when he's liable to take another fictional trip through Biloxi, Mississippi. He's got to eat someplace.
I love it.
Yeah, and we in this new book, Voice of Biloxi too. We were in the partner in the runaway jury as well. You know.
That's one of the coolest things. There's so much history behind it. Like people that are even visited and want a recommendation, they already know Mary Mahoney's, and it's the experience, the food, the bar before you come in.
Like I tell everybody, especially when we have the big groups here, I tell them, you know, if this wasn't a highlight of your trip to the Mississippi Gulf Coast, we didn't do a good job. You know,
every holiday. I mean, you stay booked out. Do you need to call and get a reservation if you're watching?
That most definitely, especially on the weekends, you know.
Absolutely. And are y'all open all week and the weekends?
Every day but Sunday. And then another thing, we probably the only restaurant in the world that underbooks. You know, we scared to death somebody got a reservation. We would make them wait for their table.
It's the hospitality and the experience here. Absolutely. And Biloxi, as it's growing, you still are Mary Mahoney's, and nothing will change.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And not only that, the family and history. Your mom.
Got my mom and my Uncle Andrew's children here with us, and my children, and my sister's children. So
and the animals and the babies.
You got a lot of family, right.
Well, Mr. Bobby, this has really touched me, and I hope a lot of people have gotten to know your mother, Bobby, the family behind it.
I'll tell you what, she was just an ambassador to the state of Mississippi. She just loved to tell people what Mississippians were all about, not so much redneck and cotton pickers, you know what I mean?
Right. That's what I love it here.
Right, and she just wanted to tell everybody how great Mississippi was.
Well, thank you for your service, and I appreciate this opportunity, Mr. Bobby. And I thank everyone for tuning in on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney.